Welcome to Superconnections. I am your host, Jennifer K. Hill, helping you with the golden triangle of connection, where you will superconnect to yourself, others, and your purpose. Join me each week as I will share from some of my favorite tips and tools for superconnecting, and I'll bring in some of my favorite friends and thought leaders to help support you on your journey to superconnecting to the life of your dreams. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Superconnections podcast. I am delighted and tickled pink to bring you one of my favorite new humans I've met in the last several months, who I consider a dear new friend and an incredible thought leader who is going to help you to superconnect to the wealth of your dreams and to building that purpose that we often talk about in the golden triangle of connection. So today we have with us Papi Di Nuzzo. Papi has built a billion-dollar company from nothing. He wrote an incredible book called How to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, which is a bestseller. And he literally was inspired by the women in his life, by his mother, his grandmothers, one from Italy, the other one from Poland. And you're going to have to read the book because it was one of those books where you couldn't put it down. It's meant to be the next generation book to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. For those of you who haven't read that book or aren't familiar with its lineage, it's literally sold hundreds of millions of copies around the world. Napoleon Hill learned from Andrew Carnegie, who learned from, then Napoleon taught Earl Nightingale, and then Earl taught Bob Proctor, and now Bob taught Papi Di Nuzzo, who's here with us today to help you understand how can we manifest? How can we manifest anything we imagine, our dream relationships, our dream purpose, our dream job? Papi, I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Namaste, my beautiful sister, my wonderful entrepreneurial sister. Thank you so much. Namaste. And the spirit in me greets the spirit in you. To you, Jennifer, and all of your wonderful audience, the spirit in me greets the spirit in you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, Papi. From the moment that our dear friend, shout out to Adam Gaskill, who introduced us, so much gratitude. This is the beauty of super connecting. When you begin to super connect and to be of service to those in your network and community, then the most miraculous, wonderful connections come up, like Papi and I being here today to share his wisdom. And Papi, I love your mission, which is to help women and children, and particularly women and children of color, have access to wealth and to the tools to build wealth. And having been in third world countries like Nepal and Senegal, and having talked, I will always remember Papi sitting there with the women in Senegal as we were talking about their life and how they would have given anything to be able to build businesses and not just stay at home and tend to the children, but also to have access to building their own wealth. So tell us, Papi, what is the secret? How can we build astonishing wealth like you have? And what is the secret that those of us who don't know haven't tuned into?
Yes, and thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me. And I love speaking to audience of geniuses and entrepreneurs like yourself and your audience of wonderful global entrepreneurs. And as you said, my target audience is fellow brothers and sisters in need, especially women and children, and most especially women and children of color in need. Doing a lot, of course, in Africa, South America, Central America, the Pacific Rim, all across the globe. But it's often I get excited about opportunities like this, Jennifer, and thank you so much for being so gracious to have me on your show to meet wonderful entrepreneurs, because so many entrepreneurs have such a cause. They want to have such an impact. And I meet so many wonderful entrepreneurs. I've already met a lot of wonderful entrepreneurs through you and through your show today. So I'm going to thank you. And I just would appeal to the entrepreneurs in the audience that if you could think about, there's two ways to approach this, a 3D highway or a 5D highway. And as Jennifer was so gracious to say about my grandparents who came from Italy and Poland and worked in the steel mills in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And if you want to make more money, you worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week or more. It was the sweat of your brow and the ache of your back. But my fellow brothers and sisters, we're on a 5D highway. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. As Buddha instructed us thousands of years ago, you will become what you think, you'll attract what you feel, and you'll create what you imagine. So if you look at it, my fellow brothers and sisters, my fellow entrepreneurs, people ask me, Papi, you really turned me on to this, and you've excited me about how powerful my subconscious mind is, and when am I closest to it? My fellow brothers and sisters, you're close to your subconscious mind when you very first wake up in the morning and right before you fall asleep at the end of the day. Now, what's interesting about how this relates to fellow entrepreneurs is if you would go out and take a look at, even just anecdotally, take a look at non-empirically, what do you see most CEOs, most presidents talk about the one thing that they do that they credit to their success almost more than anything else, meditation. Meditation. So, my fellow brothers and sisters, what is it about the meditation that they're doing throughout the day that is helping them to be so successful? It's placing them right next to their subconscious mind and universal subconscious mind. My fellow brothers and sisters, you have all power and all knowledge of all time within you. You have a perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA, and a perfect spiritual spark. When this knowledge, all knowledge and all power of all time flows through you, you spoke about Andrew Carnegie, Jennifer. What was one of Andrew Carnegie's his number one technique for hiring a president of one of his huge steel mills that would employ thousands of employees? He would ask you a brain teaser question, and his tool was he had a stopwatch under the table when he asked you the question. Now, Jennifer, he didn't care about what the answer was, but he wanted to see how your mind processed challenging questions when you had a challenge. If you could not answer the question in less than 30 seconds, he wouldn't hire you. And why was that? Because Andrew Carnegie knew, Jennifer, what you and I were talking about, you are either in connection and in contact with your subconscious mind, universal subconscious mind, or you're not. The longer you go, your conscious mind, I call it your stinking thinking, or as Dolores Cannon said, Mr. Stupid, will kick in, or your paradigm in your subconscious mind. And I love all you, my fellow brothers and sisters, but your paradigm is your hardware and software operating system, and it has a virus. There's a virus in there. And that's what I work with people to get that out of all these negative comments that you haven't canceled or rejected over the course of your lifetime. So, fellow entrepreneurs, learn to make decisions quickly and rarely, if ever, change them. I hear when I talk to female entrepreneurs, Jennifer, they will say, I use my intuition, and women's intuition is a powerful tool. You women are much more gifted than men are regarding being in connection with your intuition. And it's funny when I talk to male entrepreneurs, Jennifer, they'll say, Pappy, it's in my gut. I feel it like in my gut, in the seat of my pants. So I would implore the audience members, if you're a female, if you're a woman and you have the gift of intuition, listen to that intuition. It is your higher self whispering in your ear all day long, the greatest 100% perfect answer all day long. Gentlemen, listen to your gut feeling or to whatever it is. That is providing you with the greatest answer to your challenges in business that you could ever imagine.
I love that, Poppy, and it is so true. When we listen to that still soft voice that sometimes whispers and says, "Go left, don't go right. Get on this flight, don't get on that flight." I'm gonna share a jarring story that we need to have this friend of mine on the show. A dear friend of mine by the name of Jo Cox Brown, she was at the New York during 2001, and the day she woke up that day, Poppy, to go to work in the Twin Towers, her intuition said, "Don't go. Stop." I have chills just retelling the story. It's gonna tear me up. And she said, "Don't go." And Joe is the most reliable person you'll ever meet. And so she's like, "Don't go." And it literally, she heard call in sick. So she called in sick, but it went against every grain in her body because she is one of the most integrous women you'll ever know. So after about an hour or two of having called in sick and pretending to be sick, she said, "I can't do this. I need to go into work. It just doesn't align." And as she's walking there, Poppy, she saw the plane hit the first building, and all of her employees and colleagues and people she worked with started dying. And what she did in that moment, Poppy, was so powerful. She knew she had a satellite phone that might work despite what was happening at that time, and one by one called people and gave them 30 seconds to a minute to talk to their loved ones, and she connected them while they were dying. And this was all because of one woman's intuition. Now, how powerful is that? What if we all pause before we got on that plane, before we went on a date, before we did that business deal? Whether you're a guy and you feel it like that gut feeling, or if you're a woman and maybe you have inner knowing, or they, them, however you choose to identify, we all have this inner knowing. And I think I did a class or an episode about this a couple of weeks ago about inner child work. Take the time, get quiet, know yourself. As Poppy says, silence all of that conscious chitter chatter we hear, and see if you can tap into that subconscious that's always guiding us. So tell us a little bit more, Poppy. What are some other pieces of wisdom of how we can all super connect to our purpose and to others and to listening to that intuition that guides us?
Yes, and Jennifer, you just rang a bell with me. You mentioned the inner child, and the universe speaks of our inner child all the time. Watch a child that's 2 or 3 or 4 years old, and you'll see them looking at something. Watch your dog. If you're a dog, I'm a dog lover. I had a dog, at least one up to 4 at any point in time my entire life. If you're a dog or a cat owner or lover, watch them looking at something in that room, and they're never wrong. Your pets are never wrong, and young children are never wrong. They're looking at something, they see something, they're able to see more than we are because they still are in direct contact with their inner child. I say, if you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. If you can think it in your mind with the emotion of that of a child on Christmas morning, you can hold it in your hand. If you think it in your mind with the emotion of that of your inner child, you can and will hold it in your hand. My fellow brothers and sisters, everything on earth is created twice. First, in Jennifer's mind, my mind, or one of our 8 billion fellow brothers and sisters. And then second, the physical object back of it is completed. The physical object back of it is completed. So that's how powerful you are. You have the ability to manifest anything you can imagine. Unfortunately, our fellow brothers and sisters have up to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of them are negative, 90% are recurring. So think about this. Out of every 5 thoughts our fellow brothers and sisters are having, 4 thoughts are negative, and they wonder why they have all this negative in their life. My fellow brothers and sisters, you have the ability to manifest anything. I would just mention, Jennifer, just because entrepreneurs tend to be a little more quantitatively. One thing I get is, Pappy, this manifesting thing is woo. And I'll come back, I'll say it's the least woo thing on earth. It's literally it's the least woo thing in the universe. My fellow brothers and sisters, I say an affirmation every morning. I'm so happy and grateful now that you, universal intelligence, universal subconscious mind, universal light, source power, and source energy created what only you could have created, this perfect and infinite universe, all operating under your perfect and infinite universal laws. Because you, my fellow brothers and sisters, Jennifer, myself, and all of you, we are in the game of life, and these perfect and infinite universal laws are the rules of the game. And one thing entrepreneurs are good about is let me know, hey, I don't care how good the news is, how bad the news is, just let me know what it is so I can move forward. And you will never be successful in any game. You're playing Monopoly, you're playing a card game, whatever it is, you'll never be successful in any game. And this is the most important game in your life. It's the game of life if you don't know the rules. So look at these universal laws, starting with the universal law of love. My mission is one of hope, inspiration, abundance, and peace of mind. Pappy, simplify that, hope and abundance. Pappy, simplify some more. My mission is one of love. That's what I'm here for. My fellow brothers and sisters, you came here first and foremost to love yourself. If you realize all the wonderful gifts you have inside of you, you will be kissing yourself all day long. You will be in love and thanking that you are an extension of source energy. You are literally an extension of source energy. So it's all about taking these wonderful gifts and learning and having this confidence within you. And I'll mention, but on my website, Pappy Mindset Coach, I spell Pappy, P-A-P-I, but on pappymindsetcoach.com, I have a free ebook because I tell everyone, read my book every day. So I'm not going to tell you to read it every day if I don't provide it for free. So I have a free ebook. I have a free Espanol, free Spanish ebook for manifesting. You can imagine. I have a free 7-day challenge. I have a 28-day manifesting accelerator online coaching course. Go take that free 7-day challenge and you'll know at the end, I go through all this base building. Because so many of our brothers and sisters come to me, Jennifer, will be like, oh, Pap, I'm so excited. I heard you and I'm starting. I'll say, what are you doing, my sister? I was talking to a wonderful sister of ours here a couple months ago. She says, Pappy, I'm reading 5 books. I'm like, that's not going to work. If you get the 5 greatest chefs on earth and you're learning to cook off all 5 of them, it's going to be confusing. They're all geniuses, but you got to pick one and go down that lane. So I just say, until you figure it out, I have a free 7-day challenge, which then leads into the 28-day course. But this is what I've taken is 70 years, 7 decades. I've taken 7 decades of knowledge, wisdom, time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, treasure, compress that into those 28 days to help my fellow brothers and sisters manifesting they can imagine, especially your entrepreneurs, Jen, and they're doing so much good. And as I said, I've been on this earth for close to 70 years, and every single year I see more entrepreneurs having more conversations and more energy and power I feel flowing through them regarding impact, regarding cause, regarding wanting to pay it forward. So my fellow brothers and sisters, you can and will change this world. I'll just mention, the universe mentions all the time at the various levels of vibration. Those of us who are vibrating at a higher level are helping so many other fellow brothers and sisters. There's entire countries in Africa that are vibrating, let's say below 100, for example. So let's get us entrepreneurs, our fellow brothers and sisters, geniuses in a zone of genius that I've got the experience with Jennifer today. I'm always so much elevated, Jennifer, when I spend time with you because of your wonderful energy and vibration. But let's pull any other like-minded entrepreneurs in the audience and let's use your specific skills on how we can go out and help our fellow brothers and sisters in need. because that's my mission on earth. That's what I've been tapped on the shoulder for, is to raise our fellow brothers and sisters individual levels of consciousness and raise all of our macro and global level of consciousness to make their life. The universe has guaranteed me time and time again, Jennifer, that every human being, no matter how bad it may seem in human terms they have it, that they can take their life from where it's at right now and elevate it to a level that they themselves, in their definition, would deem that they're being prosperous. They would be elated to raise that. So I just offer your audience, hey, let's work together in any way we can. Jennifer works with me in so many ways. She has a heart as big as, I live in North America, and she has a heart as big as North America, and how she's helped me with our fellow brothers and sisters in need to raise this level of consciousness. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I just remind you, audience members, you can only have one thought in your mind at a time, just one. Never, ever give that up. Never give that up from external circumstance or anything. That is your power. You don't need anything. You don't need any money in the bank or to own a car or house or anything to get started. You can start from just what you have, wherever you're at. And my fellow entrepreneurs, let's help our fellow brothers and sisters who don't have really anything, over the billions and billions who are living on less than $3 per day. Let's work together to help our fellow brothers and sisters to live their best life that they deserve.
Really powerful, Poppy. And what he didn't just share with you, and that we got into over dinner while we were in New York, was that he started off his career while he was in school finding out his dad died. And not only that his dad died, but that his dad had put the family business $2 million in debt. And that Poppy and his brother had to drop out of school and spend the first 12, 13 years of their lives before they could even begin their own careers paying off somebody else's debt. And yet here you have a man who sits before you and is kind, loving, compassionate, generous. You didn't hear him say a bad word about his dad or how hard it was or how unfair it is. That's the number one secret. Our words create our world. They are the paintbrushes with which we paint reality. And so notice, if you were to go back and listen and take a snapshot of the words that Poppy used, I'm sure AI could do it for us, and listen to the words that he spoke and how committed and intentional. It's our intention multiplied by our action that equals our success or failure in life. And when we multiply that intention times the emotion, times that childlike awe and wonder that Poppy talked about on Christmas Day, it's from that magical place that everything becomes possible and that we can all manifest anything we can imagine. So, Poppy, I love you, my friend. It's such a joy to have you here. Where can people connect with you? I know you mentioned poppymindsetcoach.com. Is there anywhere else you want to send people?
Yes, if you don't mind, Jeff, for one other little reminder, I'd love to give your audiences, my fellow brothers and sisters, just trusting me in this. When communicating with the universe, you always communicate in the present. There is no past, there is no future. Everything in this universe has occurred at a very specific moment in time. But the supermajority of our fellow brothers and sisters are looking at the past, complaining about it, or looking toward the future and fearful about it. Always keep your head where your feet are at right now, right where you're at in the present. That is your key to success, to communicate with the universe in the present. So yes, anybody, for my free ebooks, PapiMindsetCoach.com, PAPI mindsetcoach.com. You can sign up for the free 7-day challenge, which is the beginning of my 28-day manifesting accelerating online coaching course. And then if you like that, you can, of course, look at the course. And the course is very reasonable. It's $444. I try to make it as reasonable as possible for 28 days. And then there's some other things if they care to go forward. But I thank you so much, Jennifer, for allowing me to get the word out, for spreading this truth and this love across your entire audience across the globe. So I thank you so much. I say, again, namaste. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you and your entire audience. I'm so very grateful and so thankful. Thank you so much.
Oh, love you, Poppy, and much love to each of you. May you take this wisdom that Poppy just gifted you through his words and his intentions, and may it exponentially increase your relationship to yourself, your relationship to others, and your relationship to your purpose. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much. With love. Thank you.